Hi, Grandma Debbie here. So today we're going to make a cinnamon twist coffee cake. I'm filming this on Christmas Eve, and a tradition of ours is on Christmas morning we have this cinnamon twist coffee cake. It's a great way to start the morning. We get up and we get our coffee or tea or hot chocolate, whatever hot beverage we're going to be drinking, and we get this in the oven. So this is going to be a two-part or baking time for us. So I am going to cut the recipe in half because tomorrow morning it's just going to be my husband and I, and we don't need a humongous coffee cake. So I am cutting the recipe in half, but when I post it, it will be the full recipe. All right, so let's get going on it. Okay, so I've already measured out the sugar. So I've got 1/4 cup of sugar, and to this I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons of flour. So let me get my measuring cup. So what do you have for Christmas morning? Do you eat anything, or do you just have a normal breakfast, or do you not eat anything? What's your Christmas morning routine? When the kids were little, they would get up real early to open presents. And so we would use that time, of course, to get the cinnamon twist and the coffee cake in the oven. Okay, so I've got that. Plus I need 2 tablespoons. Whoops. Per my usual self, I am making a humongous mess, but you just can't see it. Okay, I'm going to leave the flour out because I'm going to need it. Okay, and then I'm going to add salt, and I'm adding, how much salt? I'm going to do 1/2 teaspoon. Oops. Maybe, if I can find the teaspoon. And I'm using the pink salt because, well, that's what we have, plus it gives it a better taste. Okay, and then I'm going to add 1 packet of yeast. You want it to be the active dry yeast. And I'm going to add this. The nice part about this recipe is that you don't have to wait around for the yeast to dissolve or any of that stuff. Of course, it helps if you can open it. Okay, so I'm going to mix this up, and we're just going to leave it sitting here for right now after I get it all mixed. And then we're going to head over to the oven and do some stuff over there on the stove. All right, so let's head on over there. Okay, so I've got a saucepan, and I'm going to add 1/3 cup of water, and then 1/2 cup of milk, and 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to heat this just until the butter melts, or until it reaches, I'm sorry, not until it melts, just until it reaches 120 degrees. Did I get enough butter? Sorry guys, I was just checking on something. Okay, so I am correct. 120 degrees. I wasn't sure, I couldn't remember. So you don't have to worry about the the butter melting. It doesn't need to be melted, but if it does, that's fine. Either way. I'm going to see what it is right now. Okay, we got a ways to go. It's only 76 degrees. So, and I'm splashing all over the place. So are you all ready for Christmas? I won't be posting this video until after Christmas. So, you know, I hope you had a great Christmas. Are you ready for the new year? Do you have any plans? Are you going out? Are you staying home? We stay home and take care of our dog. We have a dog that's terrified of loud noises, and people like to blow off fireworks and things, so we stay home with him and keep him company. And then we usually celebrate at around 9 o'clock because we can't stay up till midnight. Okay, we have reached the desired temperature. So we're going to head back over to where the bowl is located, and we're going to finish up there. All right, let's go. Okay, so we're back over here where we started. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add an egg. And then we're going to add this, and we're going to slowly add it while we're beating. And then we're going to beat for 2 minutes. Okay, so that was about 2 minutes. And now, pardon me. Now we are going to stir in some raisins, and I have a half a cup, well, I have 2 of the small little boxes of raisins. So we're going to stir those in. And then we're going to start adding flour, more flour. And we're just going to add in enough flour to make a what am I thinking? To make a stiff dough. I can't even think what I'm trying to say to you. Now, the recipe actually tells you how much cinnamon you're supposed to use. I never follow that part of it because remember, recipe is just a guide. Make it your own, and I definitely make this one my own. We have a container that we keep cinnamon and sugar in because we use it for a lot of different things. And so I just happen to just dump what I think is necessary. And I like a lot of cinnamon in when I'm having this, so that's what's going to happen. But when I post the recipe, I will post it the correct way. Once again, though, you can make it your own. Do whatever you think is best for your family and your family needs. And as I've said, this is definitely a family tradition for us. We have it every Christmas. I will sometimes make it for Thanksgiving. Depends on if our kids are going to be here or not. I'll make it for them. And I'm not really measuring out the flour. I'm just adding it as what I think it needs to make a stiff dough. And of course I got flour like all over the place. Wait till I go to knead it, then I'll really have flour everywhere. Oh yeah, we're just about there. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this out onto a floured board, and I'm going to knead it for about 8 minutes until it is smooth and elastic. Oh yeah, we're just about there. Yeah, we are. Okay. Let me move this off to the side. Let me move all this. Let me get rid of the egg. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of flour onto this. And then I'm going to grab my dough, and I'm going to dump it out. Probably a little wetter than what it probably should be, but that's okay. Sometimes I think I need 5 hands. Okay, so we're going to start kneading it. And I'm going to keep adding flour. Like I said, until it is smooth and elastic. It's going to take about 8 minutes. I will be editing some of this out so you don't have to watch me knead dough for 8 minutes, because that's boring. It's like watching paint dry or grass grow or whatever else is boring. Right? Oh yeah, this is turning out so nice. So, and then after we do this, we're gonna knead until it's smooth, like I said, and then I'm going to cover it with a towel. Now it says to cover it with a plastic wrap. I have never done that, ever. But if that's what you want to do, then by all means, please do. I just don't do that. A little bit more flour. We've got the dough where we want it to be. I'm going to wash my hands real quick, and we're going to move on to the next thing. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here, off to the side. I'm going to put a towel over it. And then I'm going to let it rest for 20 minutes. And I am going to set my timer. And then I'll come back and I'll tell you what we're going to do. But in the meantime, I'm going to clean up my mess while we're waiting. I'll see you in 20. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes. And now we're going to roll it out. And oh, I forgot to grab my melted butter. Now, I don't measure out the butter. It gives me a measurement, but I don't measure it out. So we're going to roll this out. I'm going to add a little bit of flour. And let me move this a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I got my rolling pin. And I'm just going to roll it out into as much of a rectangle as you can possibly get it. I'm not always very good at it. Sometimes mine looks more like a kidney than it does a rectangle. But but that's okay. As long as it works, right? That's all that really truly matters. Okay, so I've got it rolled out. You're gonna do about an eighth of an inch, and then I'm gonna cover it with melted butter. I may need to melt a little more butter than what I've got here. But like I said, I don't measure out my melted butter. I just put some in a bowl and toss it in the microwave and melt it. But when I post a recipe, I will make for sure that I give you the actual measurements, and then you can make it your own. Okay, so I've got this now with melted butter on it, and now I'm going to sprinkle it with cinnamon sugar. Now once again, we go through a lot of it, so we just keep a tub, probably more than what we really need, but that's okay. And I don't measure this out either. I just dump until I think that I have enough. But once again, I will make for sure that I add the actual amount. And then of course, you can add as much or as little as you want. It's completely up to you. And then I always add a little on top too. Okay, so now I'm going to bring over a third of it to the third mark, and I'm going to pat it down. And I'm going to add more melted butter. Okay, and then I'm going to add more sugar and cinnamon on top. I think we started leaving it in our cinnamon and sugar in a big bucket like this when my husband was always making monkey bread for our grandson. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to make a huge mess while I'm doing it, as you can tell. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a casserole dish and a knife. And I'm going to cut these into 1-inch pieces, or about 1 inch. And then I'm going to take each piece and I'm going to twist them. And I'm going to dump the cinnamon as I'm doing it all over the place. Now it's not going to fit into the casserole dish perfect, but that's okay because it's going to expand overnight. So you just kind of want to twist it a little bit. I probably could have gone with a smaller, casserole dish, but it'll be just fine. It will work out. Okay, and since I have so much cinnamon sugar already all over the place, I don't think I'm gonna, well, maybe I'll add just a tad. Okay, so this is, I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and you're going to leave it in there for anywhere between 2 to 24 hours. Completely up to you as to how long, but ours is going to be in there for almost 24 hours. So let me wash my hands real quick. All right, so I'm gonna get this in the refrigerator, clean up the humongous mess that I just made. Once again, wouldn't be me baking anything or doing anything in the kitchen if I didn't make a mess. And then I will bring you back in the morning where we're gonna bake it. We're gonna put on a powdered sugar glaze on it, and my light just went out. So that's why it got a little dark in here. So I will see you in about 24 hours. All right, hope that you have a great day. Okay, we are a few minutes away from the cinnamon twist coffee cake being done, and so I'm going to get started on the glaze. So it's a really simple recipe that you get anywhere. So I'm going to use a cup of powdered sugar, and this is where I usually end up with a powdered sugar snow shower, because powdered sugar tends to fly everywhere when I'm doing the cooking. So I try to be real careful. No matter what I do though, I tend to get it everywhere. So be patient with me, because I'm probably going to end up wearing some of it today. So as I've said, this video won't be posted until after Christmas. So I hope that you had a great holiday, and that, you know, Santa was generous to you. Oh goodness, yeah, I'm making a mess over here, guys. So I have powdered sugar all over the counter. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's a cup of powdered sugar, and I need to get the milk. Oh, good Lord. Okay, so I got a mess to clean up here pretty soon. So I'm going to do a teaspoon of vanilla, and as I've told you before, we make our own vanilla. And if you want the recipe, I can link it again. It's really simple. So a teaspoon of this, and then I'm going to do a couple of tablespoons of milk. I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to actually measure it, but I'm going to keep an eye on how much is going in here. So I'm going to start off with 3, and if I need to add a little bit more, I will. And then I'm just going to whisk it. And I'll show you what I'm doing. I'll get up a little closer so you can see. I'm just kind of whisking it all together. That's kind of awkward position for me to be doing that. I think I'm going to add just a tad bit more milk as I spill on the counter. Okay, yeah, it looks good. All right, I'm gonna put the milk away, and we're about 5 minutes out, so I will be back in 5 minutes. I'm gonna clean up my mess. Okay, so I got it out of the oven, and now I'm going to just glaze it, and it smells wonderful, guys. And I really highly recommend you try this. I mean, you don't have to do it for Christmas. You can do it any day of the week, whatever fits your schedule. But it really is worth it. It's delicious. It's just something fun to do. So I am going to let this cool a little bit because it is piping hot, and then we're going to cut into it and enjoy it with our coffee. All right, so there's the finished product. Let me hold it up so you can see. Smells wonderful. All right, guys, I want to thank you for coming along with me on this adventure, and I hope that you are having an amazing day. And you know, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit the share button, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.